must unlearn what you have learned.
Hello there. Come here, my little friend. Don't be afraid.
Away with your weapon. I mean you no harm.
Kill him. Kill him now.
Do it.
You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father was.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome to Star Wars Talk.
Hi.
We are doing some.
Hi.
We're doing some.
Hi.
We're doing something a little different today. We're doing a more of a commentary type episode. Watching the Force Awakens.
Yeah.
We're watching Bay do Bay things. So yeah, we're gonna be commentating. We're probably gonna cover some news and stuff. Probably gonna just BS most of the episode. So wow, how have you been? We both died recently.
Yeah, we both have been pretty sick the last couple weeks, so didn't have any episodes of anything last week because of that. And
Yeah.
now we're back.
And we're back at it again with the white vans. So how did you feel about episode 7?
I really enjoyed episode 7. I think there was a lot of people who believe that it's a rehash of episode 4, you know, and then you have the Mary Sue aspect of Rey, which I don't agree with as well. But there's so much that I think people missed with this movie, and missed so much of the. Yes, there are similarities. There are certain parts of the movie that are similar to A New Hope. There
Yes.
is. I mean, that's just the way it is. However, there's a lot in this movie that's completely different than A New Hope. And
Yeah, like Jakku.
yeah. But I mean, even like the lightsaber battle at the end, like that's, you know, you didn't have, you had a little lightsaber battle at the end of A New Hope with Obi-Wan and Vader, but this was different.
Yeah, this was an actual lightsaber duel.
So, you know, I mean, besides that, there's a lot of other different things and stuff like that. But
So how excited are you to watch this?
honestly, I actually purposely have not watched The Force Awakens in probably about 6 months. Biggest
Wow.
reason why is because I wanted to kind of. I knew that we were going to be coming up and doing a commentary of some sort for the lead up to The Last Jedi. So
I was voting for Phantom Menace.
yeah, but I wanted to like, yeah, I remember the movie. I've seen it probably, you know, 20, 30 times already. But I wanted to kind of go in fresh with it when we did the commentary, because I wanted to kind of like almost get like those eyes, like seeing it for the first time
Yeah.
again type of thing. You know, not that it's going to be like that because it's been, you know.
6 months.
Yeah, and only 6 months, and I've seen it so many times prior to that. So
He'll only know half the lines now.
so the way we're gonna do this, now we're watching it digitally on our Xbox, and
That's right, we've upgraded. We got a remote control Xbox.
right now we are paused at the 00000 mark. So I will count down and I will hit play if you want to watch it with us. If you're like me, you probably won't even care and want to watch it with us, because when I listen to other people do commentaries, I've listened to Kevin Smith do Batman commentaries and stuff like that. I just like to listen to it because I can picture the movie in my head because
Yeah.
I've seen the movie so many times. So that's kind of what I normally do. But if you want to watch the movie while you listen to us, you know, you can just, whenever I say press play, that's when you press play, and we'll move forward from there. But until that, I don't know if Colton has anything else he wants to talk about before that. I think the news and stuff we're just going to talk
Yeah,
about.
nah, I have nothing else really to add.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Got Christmas in a couple weeks, but most importantly, The Last Jedi. This is coming out Wednesday, and we're going to be seeing The Last Jedi Thursday. So one day from the release of this, we're seeing The Last Jedi. We're pumped about it. It does come out Friday. Officially comes out Friday, but the early premieres are Thursday. We're probably going to see it once, maybe twice, depending on our movie pass type of thing.
Yeah,
So,
depending on if we have to pay $2 to get those luxury seats again.
so yeah, that's what we're going to do. So when you are ready, sir, I will go ahead and press play.
I am not ready. Now I am.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, and play.
Yay, we're playing.
And there's the Lucasfilm LTD.
So I'm glad we put on subtitles because I am completely deaf in my left ear. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. ...
So, what did you think about the way that this movie started compared to like the other movies? Like, you know, like every movie, every Star Wars movie, with the exception of Rogue One, opens with, you know, a ship or something coming in space and everything like that. What did you think of it being kind of flipped from A New Hope?
I thought it was a nice change. It's been how long since we've had a Star Wars film? Well, it's been how long at that point in time since we've had a Star Wars film?
Yeah, 10 years.
So, I mean, it's nice to start something new. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. And just want to say this here in the crawl, you know...
Hey, there's Leia.
Until Skywalker, the Last Jedi has been destroyed, it says. Just want to say, Luke is the Last Jedi. With the Last Jedi coming out in a couple days, that's what it is.
Do you think he's the actual Last Jedi? You think Yoda's going to make an appearance? You think he's going to come back from the dead?
Yeah, I do think that we're going to see some Force ghosts, whether it's Yoda or Anakin or something, but I think that the last living Jedi is Luke, yes.
I'm the last living Jedi, though.
You're not.
So,
interesting to note, a little bit of news that came out the other day. Obi-Wan standalone film is looking to start production in 2019.
Yay. Ewan McGregor?
They haven't announced that yet. They haven't even officially announced the movie.
If there's no Ewan McGregor, I don't know if I want to see that film. He is Obi-Wan. Look, the giant middle finger before. That's how I've always viewed the ship, too. Just the giant middle finger, and then it's just like, we're going to take over a whole planet. Wish darkness.
What did you think of the beginning of the movie, like going to Jakku and, you know, Lor Santeca? And
I definitely thought we were going to get a darker film than what we got.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it was going to be that dark. I thought it was going to be pretty hopeful. I like the scene here where it's very like Saving Private Ryan-esque, you know, with
and
the trips and
I like how they completely blow the stereotype that all stormtroopers have to be a certain height. There's short ones, there's tall ones.
Yeah. And our first shot of BB-8 chirping.
I was gonna say, yeah, insert chirping noise here. Look at him roll away.
Now, the line that he says here, this will begin to make things right. A lot of people think that was a bash on George Lucas for the prequels, on, you know, like the first line being, this movie is going to make everything right that was wrong because of the prequels.
That's a little bit of a far-fetched idea.
I mean, people have said that since the movie came out.
That's a little far-fetched. Oh, he's beeping excitedly. Chirping excitedly.
How do you like Poe's character? I mean, it's interesting because, I mean, we'll get to the point where he was actually supposed to die. He wasn't supposed to be in the movie after Finn rescues him. He was supposed to be gone after that point.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you like his character within the movie?
And I mean, I think he's a really good. What's the word I'm looking for? Blaster cocking. I think he's a good person that does, like, I can't really say too much for this film, but I think like episode 8 is going to focus more around him being more resistance.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Resistance-y.
I mean,
like,
you can definitely tell. I mean, the fact that he was supposed to be killed off, he then gets his own comic book series, which explains a lot of his backstory, how he was conceived, his parents conceived him after the Battle of Endor, on Endor. The fact that I believe his parents are killed at some point, and Leia kind of takes him under her wing and starts training him to be one of the next leaders in the Resistance. And I think we're going to see that in episode 8 as well. But it's not shocking, but surprising and interesting for the fact that, you know, he wasn't originally in the original script. He was not supposed to make it out of the Force Awakens. So,
and yet here we are talking about him in The Last Jedi. Look at him. I do like how they got really kind of like just slaughtery with everything.
Yeah, the stormtroopers in this are a lot more
They're vicious.
vicious. Yeah, like you said, I was expecting more of a darker movie. I mean, it's pretty dark. This is not a light movie. But like it has light parts, but I don't think it was going to be darker than this. I knew that they were going to want to try and keep it lighthearted a little bit in some form or fashion because, they were trying to, unfortunately, bring people back who disliked the prequels and everything. There were some issues I had with it, like some of the weapons. I feel like the one that Poe's using here, to me, it never looked or felt like a Star Wars blaster to me. I don't know if you ever realized that. Question: how is his hand bloody, and how is his glove all screwed up?
Yeah, he did get shot in the side. Like, that should not have affected anything.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, there's again, I don't want to make this a thing where I have issues with the movie because this is the first time we've ever, I think, seen blood.
Yeah,
in
this
a Star Wars movie.
And then look, he's like, I hear something. I see something. Oh, it's one of those ships. Well.
Yeah, I also really do like Kylo Ren's shuttle here. I'm looking forward to the next movie, actually getting to see him pilot and use his, the TIE silencer.
Yeah, the TIE silencer is going to be nice to look at.
So I'm excited about that.
I do also like his ability of, hey, I can stop pretty much anything in time.
Yeah, that is actually one aspect of this movie that I really liked is they explored the Force a little bit more and gave more Force powers, and obviously you're going to see that here in a minute, but this relationship here between Kylo and Lord Santeca, I want to know so much more about
Yeah.
them. Like even the first time I saw this movie, when I sat there, I was like, oh, there's backstory between the two. And yeah, I mean,
That isn't it. It should be explored in a book
it hasn't yet that I'm aware of,
or a
obviously,
comic or
I
something.
haven't read all the books, but I've been trying to read the books that directly connect to the films as best as I can.
Like, boom, just legitimately freezes everything.
Yeah, it's such a cool force power, and one of those things that shows the power he has. And I like the idea of, and they've explored this in the video games as well, or since lately the video games. Like, there's different force powers. There's not just force push and force choke and lightning. There's other things that you can do now.
Yeah, you like
like
freeze
that.
time.
And not everybody knows everything.
Yeah, it's an ever expanding thing. And then here's some comedy. It's kind of hard to understand you with the mask on. And
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that. I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Again, it's part of the lightheartedness of the movie, but
and there's one of 3 Phasma shots. I really was kind of expecting more from her character.
I mean, they really pushed her.
Yeah, like they
in the marketing for this movie.
And then they gave her the Joker treatment. Like this firing squad into civilians. That's when you know you've maybe crossed a line or two.
Interesting, note here is how Kylo realizes that there's some conflict within Finn right there. And, he notices it. They kind of look at each other. Like, to me, that's just a little
nod to what's going to happen.
Not a little nod, but just I don't know how to explain it. I just think it's interesting. It's different. It's one of those things that you look at the first time you're watching it, you don't really catch it, but after you watch it a few times, you're like, all right, so Kylo realizes there's something there. There's something going on with him, and kind of goes from there.
Look, little alien thing. Woo. As they fly away. Is that still what series of Star Destroyer is that?
I don't know.
Is that still like the Empire's Star Destroyer, or is it
No,
like
it's a new First Order.
Sorry. I do like how Poe looks like he's never been inside one of these before.
Yeah, he's kind of shocked. At the time, I don't think any Resistance or New Republic person has been or has even really seen the First Order. I think this is one of the first times that any of them are actually seeing a ship, being inside of a ship, really having contact with the First Order. That's the way I took it. I could be, wrong.
Oh, hey, Phasma's 2 of 3.
But the one thing that I notice is, that they talk about how the Republic, they did not believe the First Order was a threat. That there was. So you have to figure that, they haven't had much to do, or there weren't any battles or many battles to be had.
Uh-oh. There's Bay. Even though we don't know that's Bay yet.
Yeah, Rey doing what she does, scavenges.
Bay being Bay, doing Bay things. You look super annoyed every time I call her Bay.
I do get annoyed by that.
Why?
Because it's annoying.
But she's Bay.
But she's not.
But she is.
That's not her name. So people that are listening have no idea who you're talking about.
Sorry, Daisy Ridley. That's
not her name either. Her name is Rey.
Oh my god. Okay, if you don't frequent this show a lot, Rey / Daisy Ridley / Bay
not
is
slash
Bay.
Bay. Her name is not Bay.
It is
Nowhere
Bay.
in any of her names is it Bay.
You cannot. What's her middle name?
We don't know. Her
Bay.
first name is Rey.
Bay.
We don't know her
Middle name's Bay. Her last name's Kenobi. We all know this. I don't know why you keep fighting it. I like how she's like sledding too. Like wee, and it comes to an end, and she's like, "Crap."
So some news as the movie's going on with Rey, doing her scavenging thing. Rian Johnson confirms his trilogy will not be Knights of the Old Republic.
That's sad. That's sad.
Again, it's not what we want. I'm telling you, people, that's not what we want. Interesting theory that I'm hearing about The Last Jedi is that Snoke is actually the very first Jedi. So Snoke is the very first Jedi there ever was.
This is a nice shot, not to cut you off.
And but he's learned over time that the Jedi was not the way to go, and he turned to the dark side at some point, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's a cool theory. If that's the case, or if he's even related to the very first Jedi ever, it would be interesting for Rian Johnson to go back and do that story. Like I said in, last week or 2 weeks ago episode that we did. Would make sense to do it in that way.
So, she has really white teeth for living on a desert planet.
She's looking at her teeth.
No, like when she was like grunting her teeth when she was throwing her stuff onto the speeder.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, huh, really white teeth for like a desert planet. Oh, 1/4 portion.
You have
Smack.
Simon Pegg.
Can I get a cameo in Star Wars? Can I be the son? Can I be the second son of Tatooine? Just put
That shot is very Tatooine-esque.
Just put my face in it. You're like, eh. Putting them tallies down.
Look at all those days. Is she marking down the days that she's been waiting, or is she marking down the days that she has been there?
That's a good question. Probably, I would imagine waiting. I'm telling you, I wouldn't trust anything that materializes like that out of water.
That's actually real. That's not a special effect. That's real food.
I wouldn't trust it.
She eats funny.
Well, I think it's cool that she hides out in an AT-AT.
Yeah, down to AT-AT.
And, has the sand-filled rubble helmet. That's how I would live. I'd live in a downed AT-AT. I would. I'd gut it out, but it would be awesome.
She looks really young here, doesn't she?
Yeah, she looks like she's younger than I am.
It's crazy.
In reality, isn't she like...
I think 19. Her character's 19 in the movie, I believe. Because Kylo, I think, is like 27, and I think she's
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah.
He looks younger than 27. Tito. That's a cool name. That's even a cooler species. Is that a species or is that a robot?
Yeah, I think it was a species. It was an alien. I think.
I want to put battle armor on something like that. Get me a cow.
I like how Ray just rips off the antenna.
Yeah, like, I don't know what you are or who you are or what you're doing, but I'm going to fix your antenna and send you on your way.
I don't know. That antenna looks different. Look, it looks different in a couple views. Yeah, it's different again. Oh, man.
Continuity errors.
J.J. Abrams screwing stuff up.
Don't follow me. Stop. It's like your heavy trooper earlier, Battlefront 2.
Yeah,
Stop! Grenades are going off all around him. He just puts up saying,
I
"Stop!"
don't know how he did that. Like, he just puts his hand up. That was weird.
At least that when I was a droid, I was like flipping people off.
It's kind of weird, like, for Rey, who hasn't had family or friends or anything. You know, a droid's like, "Hey, I want to hang out with you," and she's like, "No." All right.
Whatever.
You can leave. Like, kind of weird to me. Why is his head all beat in?
This is the second time we've seen blood in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Maybe the third. Wasn't Luke on Hoth bloody, or was he just bruised?
I don't remember.
I think he was just bruised. We'll say third. Second or third, we'll play conservative. May want to rethink your technique. Goes into his brain. Yeah, no, I don't need to rethink that.
I look at this and I think, you know, okay, so he's reading his mind. It kind of, again, I like the idea of the different force abilities and everything like that. I just feel like this is something that should have been used by, like, Palpatine or
Oh, yeah.
or, you know, Vader or Dooku, you know, back in the older movies and the other movies.
Which is surprising that they didn't, like, Lucas didn't think of that.
Yeah. Did you notice that torture room is much different than the torture room that Rey's in later in the movie?
Yeah, that's because she's in the premium.
Oh wait, she's also on Starkiller Base.
She's in the premium torture room. You know, high class.
So, why is she on this planet?
Canonically, is that how you say that?
All right.
She was left there.
Why though?
I don't know. We'll know that in a couple days.
Hopefully.
2 days. No, 3 days. 2
You know,
days?
out of all the Twitter reactions that we've seen,
3 days.
by all the people that have seen the movie, all the not critics, but you know, after the world premiere that happened on Saturday, we're hearing was it Saturday? Yeah, we're hearing all the Twitter reactions. Obviously, nobody's given a full review. The reviews aren't able to come out. They're going to be out for us tomorrow because we're recording on Monday. And I'm not going to read a single review. I'm not doing it because I don't want to risk getting spoiled on anything, which I highly recommend nobody gets spoiled. But
yeah, I heard this movie's like fantastic.
yeah, I've heard it's so good. But none of the reactions have been like, you know, we didn't get the answers we wanted. Like I was kind of half expecting to hear that in a reaction. Like you don't get your answers, you know, or your questions answered.
You don't get your answers questioned.
You don't get your answers questioned.
Look, he looks like he was taking a nice nap. Here you go. Go wake him up.
Everybody walks weird in this movie.
I think the stormtroopers have super broad shoulders. Like, their armor looks super broad. They have no neck.
Yeah. Why is he so sweaty?
But, I mean, I would imagine the armor's not cold.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you're going to get that sweaty while wearing the armor, you probably shouldn't use that type of armor.
You should try to become an officer. Try to become like Phasma. I'm sure hers has like vents and stuff in it. Got a nice butt flap.
What? Nice flap. Jeez.
I do like the new TIE fighters. Even though they're like the paint job on them. They're not really that different.
No, I mean they're 2-seaters now, which is different. And the reason for that is so you can have somebody that can fire from behind as well as in front and stuff like that. So that was kind of a big deal, an upgrade. I mean, you figure this is 30 years after Return of the Jedi, so it kind of makes sense that they're going to upgrade things.
I am kind of surprised that like one jerk in the wing didn't get pulled off.
Yeah.
Like boom, wing falls off right there. As we watch treason happen.
Yeah. Why are you shooting those things?
Shoots like that is some severe treason. He is not going to get welcomed back happily.
Which will be an interesting thing, I think, in The Last Jedi, seeing him make his way back to First Order base and he and Rose infiltrating and stuff like that. I think that's interesting, and having him face off against Phasma, I think is going to be fantastic.
I don't know about Poe, but I'm pretty sure I'd probably like wipe my face off at some point in time. Like instead of having blood, all down the side of my face, I'd probably wipe it off a bit.
Yeah, well, I think he's just worried about escaping right now, not so much the blood on his face.
Yeah, but comfortability though.
And that's how Finn gets his name. I wonder if we'll ever get a real name for Finn. Like I'd be completely down with them in one of these next two movies where we actually get Finn's real name, if there is a real name for him.
Yeah, $20 there. He was probably like picked from a family, like they forcefully took him from his family or something.
And he never got named or anything.
Yeah, so that way you can't be attached to a name or anything. It's just FN T187 or something like that.
FN 2187. Kylo immediately knows it's FN 2187.
Boom. Wait, we're just gonna shoot like the heaviest missiles we have at this tiny little TIE fighter.
Oh boy.
Too bad they can't pull like the Millennium Falcon and just dump the garbage. No, that was Obi-Wan, wasn't it?
Well, it was the Millennium Falcon and Empire Strikes Back, where they were on the Star Destroyer when they dumped the garbage before they went off in hyperspace. They drifted off with the trash. I don't know what you're thinking of with Obi-Wan.
In Episode 2, when he just dumps all the things when Jango's shooting at him on the asteroid field.
Oh, yes.
Too bad they can't.
What did he do? I don't know what he did there. I think it wasn't like garbage or anything.
Yeah, I think it was the tools.
It was something.
I can't remember. It's been a long time since I watched the prequels. That was in Episode 3. Oh, they've been hit.
Yeah, on TNT this past weekend, they've been marathoning Star Wars, so I got 3, 4, 5 in, and most of 6.
The moment when Poe wasn't supposed to survive.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we were never supposed to see Poe again, which is interesting.
I wonder what would have happened to his body.
You figure that they have to have some kind of tracking device on their TIE fighters.
That, or at least the armor itself.
Not so much the armor, but okay, so Finn makes his way all the way. So he runs all the way across the desert to the TIE fighter. Again, I you would think that they have some kind of...
It's amazing that the jacket didn't burn up there either.
But okay, so yeah, you can arguably say okay because it gets eaten up by the sand there that the tracking device may not work, but they would have a last location.
Yeah, like that's been above ground long enough for them to be like, oh hey, it's right here.
How long? How do we know how long Finn's been knocked out?
Exactly. It's a big explosion that he magically teleported away from. It would suck to be in all that armor in the sand.
And then he leaves a nice little trail of where he's going.
I think the First Order's just lazy.
Yeah.
Or really bad, really bad at tracking.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine he's not that far away. As we're...
It's less than a day, because you figure, it was nighttime, and then it was daytime where... It was almost nighttime when Daisy found BB-8. It was like, hey, tomorrow morning you're going to go, I'll take you to town and I'm done with you. So it's the next day when they crash land. So it's not even a full day that it takes him to get to the town here.
Yeah, so he can't be that far. Okay, here we go. Capture the droid. Got capture the droid. How capable are your soldiers? You see a little headbutting here.
I like the mention of using a clone army and everything like that, because it shows that yes, the clones were actually superior soldiers back in the Clone Wars, and the stormtroopers just haven't been as good as the clone troopers ever were.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's not that advanced training that they got, or the fact that they were bred from a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Finn putting on the jacket instead of using it as a hood. So I wonder how many porgs we're going to see in Episode 8.
37.
Such an oddly specific number.
Okay. So this is an interesting part of the movie here. I think that people always miss and don't quite get. Yes, this part was about the Notice is out to find a droid and get the droid, but what the scene was really showing is how good of a fighter Rey actually is. That she can hold up on her own and handle herself.
Yeah.
And later on in the movie, when she starts using a lightsaber and everything, people were always like, "Oh, all of a sudden she can use a lightsaber." Well, this goes into
yeah,
that,
it's been shown she can defend herself. And he's like, "What? No." She's like, "Him? Don't worry, I'll get him for you." Charges him down, chucks a spear at him.
I want to know how she gets to where she gets to in now.
Yeah. Just like cracks him in the face. BB-8, just a minor shock. See, he has really white teeth too. But for First Order dental care though.
What is their dental care like?
I don't know. I mean, they have to have fantastic dental insurance.
Oh, their insurance must be good, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're the First Order. Could you imagine just going into a hospital or to a doctor's? They don't even have insurance. They just roll into the hospital and hold them at gunpoint until they're fixed.
I don't think that's how it works.
You want to bet? It comes out with a comic and it just shows Darth Vader's doctor's appointment.
That's not the First Order. That's the Empire. Completely different.
Whatever.
Completely
It's still going to show the economic and political side.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember back during the Empire, it was like they ran everything. It's not like they had to go and hold up a hospital to get treated like Coruscant. They could go to a hospital in Coruscant and they were Empire and Imperial soldiers. They could just walk in and get treated. The First Order probably has a hospital in Starkiller Base somewhere that they can just walk in and get treated.
But how did they get the doctors?
They bred them.
Kidnapping.
I'm gonna. I thought he was a myth. And that's where you go, okay, so Luke Skywalker is not her father.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
She doesn't mention Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's not her father. But
Her grandfather.
you know, it's interesting because she obviously has heard the myth of Luke Skywalker. If it was her father, I mean, she gets left on Jakku when she's what 5-6 years old.
Yeah, something.
I know, like, for my instance, I'm going to get real here for a second. I lost my father when I was 4 years old. I still remember what he looked like, roughly. You know, like, I know, like, if somebody showed me a picture, like, who's this? I'd be like, I think that's my dad, you know?
Yeah.
I would know who it is. I know what his name is. Not just because it's the same name as mine, but I know what his name is. I would have heard his name. So the fact that if she was 5 or 6 years old, left on Jakku, and the fact that Luke Skywalker in her mind is a myth, then it's not her father. You know, that's the way I look at it.
But she doesn't mention Obi-Wan.
But that has nothing to do with anything. There's no reason to mention Obi-Wan.
Yeah, because that's her grandfather.
No, see, you look at things the wrong way. Just because it's
No.
Just because it's not mentioned doesn't mean that it is that.
It's Qui-Gon.
She doesn't mention Palpatine at all. She doesn't mention
my tongue.
Darth Plagueis. She doesn't mention
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. Like, I mean,
That would be awesome if she was a descendant from Darth Maul. That would be an interesting story that I would need to be explained.
it's kind of shocking that she's a pilot. She knows how to fly, yet she's never decided to steal a ship and run away before.
That's very true.
Again, yes, I understand that the Millennium Falcon.
Ah.
I understand that she's been waiting on Jakku for her family or whomever
Yeah.
to come back, and that's the big reason why she stays. But you have to figure, after so long
Of just getting pooped on.
not getting pooped on, but you're
Of living on portions.
yeah. I mean, basically, you're just like eventually just gonna have to say, you know what, enough's enough. I'm gonna go do.
Yeah.
this,
I'm going to go live my life.
I'll leave a note. Maybe they'll find me.
Yeah, I owe you.
Not I owe you, but like if
I
you're
owe
looking
you.
for me. I left. I'll be back on this day.
So now that Rey's been in the movie a bit, how about that last TV spot
Yeah.
for The Last Jedi?
I'm
Not
so
for this
mad
one.
about it.
That one, it was good,
I'm
but
getting
like
sick of. I'm getting sick of movie companies
literally spoiling the hell out of the movie.
spoiling parts of a movie that I think would be so crazy to see in the movie. You know, and if you don't know what we're talking about, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's such a cool scene, and I can only imagine how it's going to play in the movie. And
Yeah, the
fact
build up
that
for that scene's gonna be
And
insane.
the fact that I saw it on a TV spot, I'm just kind of mad about it. I know technically TV spots, trailers, and everything like that, they're good at not spoiling like major spoilers for a movie. But there's sometimes things that I just want to wait and see in a movie and not.
Yeah, not watch on TV before you see it.
So that's a little disappointing, but this is an interesting scene with them flying, or her flying the Millennium Falcon and everything like that. And it's cool to see that, flying the Millennium Falcon by yourself is not an easy task. And that's I think it was maybe Brian. It may have been another one of my friends growing up. We used to actually have arguments about the Millennium Falcon and like, do you need a co-pilot? Why does Chewbacca have to be a co-pilot? Like, that kind of thing. Like, we used to talk about that all the time, and you can tell why. Like, you need a co-pilot in this because it's not easy, especially if you get into a dogfight like this. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself very well.
Yeah,
Rey does it, but it takes her a while to get a hold of everything.
I mean, we'll ignore the fact that motion sickness is a real thing in this ship right now.
Yeah.
Because that does not even look like it's a nice smooth flight.
Nah, not a little bit.
It's like they're bumping off the ground.
But you gotta remember, I mean, Finn was like, hey, stay close to the ground, it screws with their
They're tracking. I was surprised to see the Millennium Falcon this early in the movie, though.
I remember hearing rumors prior to the movie coming out that Finn and Rey actually do come across the Millennium Falcon, that it is owned by someone else and stuff like that. Like, I remember hearing about that, so it wasn't that I was just expecting it. It was one of those things like, I heard it's a rumor, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, type of thing. When it happened, I was like, okay, it is what it is. But I got excited. My buddy Jordan, he hates when people like get all excited during movies and stuff like that. Like, he's real weird. And I remember watching the movie and the Millennium Falcon came up and I start elbowing him. I'm like, ah. I looked
He
at
just
him real quick
like
and he was just pissed. He was like, ah. But yeah, it was a good time seeing the Millennium Falcon back. I mean, you figure we went 3 movies. We haven't seen a Millennium Falcon in almost 30 years at this point.
Yeah. Well, it was there for like
I mean,
2 nanoseconds in episode 3.
Yeah, it made a cameo, and it maybe wasn't even the Millennium Falcon. It was just a Corellian, freighter. So
I will say that in 30 years, the Empire/First Order pilots have not gotten any better.
yeah,
Like, why would you fly directly underneath the gun that you just disabled? I do think it's interesting that the Millennium Falcon got away that cleanly in space.
yeah. I wonder where's
Like, they were just being tracked by 2 TIE fighters.
yeah, not just by 2 TIE fighters, but where's the what am I trying to say, the First Order ship that was out there?
Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm sure there'd be scout TIE fighters all around the planet.
yeah.
She does look super young. Like, super young, like 16.
She really does look young here. It's weird. But maybe it's because, you figure this was filmed probably, 4 years ago. Now we're seeing Daisy Ridley as, 4 years older, so.
Yeah. She does. She looks more grown up. More serious. Uh-oh. This dude looks like he's really about to cry. I do think it's interesting that it's about midway through the movie before we see Kylo without a helmet on.
Yeah.
Even though the helmet literally does next to nothing.
Again, it was more
Of an intimidation thing.
yeah. I think a lot of people didn't like the idea. Like, why is he wearing a helmet? It doesn't do anything. Like, Vader needed a reason for his helmet. And, people freak out. Oh, he's just some emo little kid freaking out, stuff like that. Like, to me, that made him more unpredictable. I was like, oh crap!
Yeah.
Like, he's
He can't
has
control
anger.
himself.
Again, I look at it like this. Like, look at Anakin. You look at Anakin when he was training as a young Jedi and stuff like that, and he was unpredictable. Like, he could not control his emotions all the time. He tried to. He would put him in check from time to time, but he couldn't do it great. And what does he mean by what girl? How does he know about a girl? Could it be that Kylo is actually the one that hid Rey away on Jakku?
That'd be an interesting twist.
Yeah. There's a lot of rumor about Kylo and Ben Solo that he's like a really deep undercover,
A resistance.
resistant,
Boy, that's taking an extreme. I mean, then again, if you're presented with that, you can't blow your cover. You do have to kill your father.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's kind of the thing, and I think that's that when you think about
And that would add another layer of
being
emotion
so
to the scene.
conflicted in that scene, exactly. He's like, look,
He's like,
you don't understand. Like, I need help, but you don't understand.
Yeah, like I have to do this.
Yeah, it's not even like I don't want to, but I have to. And we're sitting there while we're watching the movie thinking, oh, it's because of this, but
Yeah, in reality, it's
yeah.
so much deeper than that.
I wonder if that's going to be the big reveal.
That would be something.
Like, if that's because
And
everybody's expecting the big reveal to be who Rey parents are, or
and we
Luke
see
saying, Rey, I'm your father, stuff like that. Like, that's what people are expecting, but I think the big reveal is going to be something like that.
and then that's when Kylo meets Luke and holds his hand up.
Luke, but
Well, you know what I mean.
I'm telling you that scene where Kylo is putting out his hand, he is reaching out to Luke, and it's going to be near the end of the movie. After everything happens, Rey is going to be captured by Snoke. Kylo will be Ben Solo once again because he will have blown his cover, and he has to now go with Luke to save Rey. I'm telling you, that's what it's going to be.
That would make I don't even know if I can emotionally handle that. I don't think I could. I will be interested to see what will happen to Leia, though. If they'll give her a ride off into the sunset ending, or if they're going to kill her ending.
Yeah. I don't think they're killing her. I think they've pretty much said they're not going to kill her.
Yeah, a little bit of comedy there.
There's a lot of comedy in this.
I do like the little homage to what, episode 4?
Homage. To them
Homage.
hiding.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things like people are like, "Oh, it's just like episode 4." You know?
Then you clearly don't understand like little Easter eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't understand how that works.
Hey, Han Solo.
I like how Chewie looks like he hasn't aged a bit.
There's something that felt off about him to me in this movie. Now I know that like this scene here, I think was Peter Mayhew, but most of the scenes that happened weren't with Peter Mayhew because he can barely walk anymore. Like he's had his knees replaced so many times, and I think he's actually in a wheelchair nowadays. So it's the new actor, Jonas, I think is his name. He's a Swedish actor. So he kind of took over, and you could definitely, at least I could tell that
you could see it in the face.
Not just the face, but there's just some things that are a little bit different about Chewie. I think the face is more just the way that they made the mask. It's not as...
Like the face just doesn't look like it's a Chewie face to me. Nice to see Han Solo. I do think Chewie should have aged a bit though. Give him like a nice strip of gray somewhere. Like touch up the black with a little bit of gray.
I like how Rey knows Han as a smuggler, and Finn knows him as a war hero, and Chewie's like, whatever.
Yeah, Chewie's like, both?
Yeah, I mean, both.
I was there.
And then here's the scene where he comes in, and we've already seen in the one trailer TV spot where Luke comes in. I think we're gonna get that, with the same type of scene as Luke or as Han had here with Luke.
Yeah, where it's just kind of the back at it again.
Yeah. I like whenever she's like, it's carrying a map to Luke Skywalker. He just he's stopped at his tracks, and again, it's another story. What's the story between Han and Luke?
Yeah, I want what happened, which I'm sure we might get in Battlefront 2.
It's a possibility. I feel that we're gonna get it, maybe even in this next movie. But yeah, I really want to see what they do with that whole story and everything, because I think it's interesting. Because Han felt like he wasn't a good enough father for his son. Meanwhile, Ben was sent off with Luke to train, and it was after that he turns to the dark side, or so they believe. He turns to the dark side, and this whole time, Han has lost his son. Is he blaming Luke for it? Does he blame Luke? Does he blame himself? I know that there's a part of him that blames himself, but he is a proud person as well. Could he blame Luke even a little bit?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of thing that I would love to hear, see.
I thought these costumes were kind of interesting.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see more of all of these characters.
These characters will more than likely be explored in comics at some point in time.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe a book. Maybe. I could see more of a comic, though.
Yeah, it'll probably be in comic.
I like the armor, kind of. Not a huge fan of the helmet thing. Like the circle.
Yeah. Well, gotta make it weird. Tell that to Conjure Club. And there they are, and they're cast and not used at all.
Yeah, right? Continues to speak in alien dialect.
Chewie. And for the fact that the new rebellion doesn't even really acknowledge the First Order, it's pretty crazy how the First Order can get out to like everybody in the galaxy. Like, hey, there's a droid we're looking for.
Yeah, hey, just look at for us,
Yeah.
please. I like how no one really took the First Order as a threat, like at all.
Yeah.
Other than Leia. Leia took them as a threat.
And I want to, again, that's another story I would love to see and hear about and find out, like, why. Why do they not consider them a threat? What was it that...
I got a bad feeling about this.
Why is it that they feel like, okay, they're nothing? Like, that's just...
Yeah, like, that we can't... There are no reason to be taken seriously.
Like, you would think, after all the fighting, all the wars that happened over,
Yeah, after the literal galaxy-wide war for...
decades.
Yeah.
Why would the rebellion or the new rebellion, not the new rebellion, the new republic, I'm sorry, the new republic be like, no, we don't need an army, Like, it's just crazy to think.
Like, we're just going to handle everything diplomatically. Like, we did for the first republic.
Yeah, because that worked out well.
Could you imagine seeing that for the first time?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Ray's eyes.
Yeah, Ray's like, oh god. I mean, that'd be a way to die. I do like how Ray has grown up on a desert planet, like what seemed like next to no technology.
Yeah.
And here she can go up to like a control panel and make sure she knows how to work it. And can just like close doors on command. Like that's something I would even consider a little advanced for us. Like there's a certain number pattern that you'd have to know for that.
Yeah, I guess so. She used the Force.
I mean, I guess I can buy that. Like all these giant aliens are running around and they're still in gunfights.
Chewie getting shot.
First person in a movie to be shot and not die.
No, Leia got shot and.
Oh yeah, no, I take it back. Never mind, I lied. I forgot about that.
And no, well, Kylo gets shot later.
That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Shh.
Spoiler. I do like how Han's just like firing everything up.
So who owns the Millennium Falcon now that Han Solo is gone?
I'd say ownership should fall on Chewie. Should. It's probably Rey's now.
Yeah, that makes her a Solo.
or hey, there's another little Easter egg to episode 4. Or I would say, technically, if they want to do that, it would fall to Leia, because she'd be next to kin. And then if they choose to kill her, it would be Ben, because then he would be next to kin.
Yeah.
If they use the same legal system we do.
Probably not, though.
Ion engines.
And our first look at Starkiller Base. What do you think of the idea of calling it Starkiller Base? And our first look at Snoke as well.
I wasn't a fan of it. I thought it could have had a better name.
I think they were just trying to utilize, like, Starkiller was such a cool name. I don't know why they changed Starkiller to Skywalker, blah, 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 blah. Like, they're probably talking like that. Wouldn't it be cool? It'd be a nice little...
Yeah, be like, oh, nice little
little nod to what could have been type of thing.
I'm interested to know where Snoke was during this.
Probably aboard his own ship or on another planet. I think that he's hidden away. I think he's weakened. I think that he's trying to rejuvenate himself and stuff like that. And I think he's staying away from a lot of this type of
the
stuff.
action and whatnot.
And everything, yeah, and communicating like this. And I think that's why you have Hux and you have Kylo, and I think Kylo is his muscle, and Hux is kind of
is the brains
that he wants to utilize. And I love the dynamic between Kylo and Hux also, because you can definitely tell there's like a brotherly type of
rivalry.
Thank you. Yeah, that's going on between them, which I think is amazing.
I think it's interesting that as soon as they get on the Millennium Falcon, Snoke is like, the droid's with your dad on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. I tell you what, when I first saw this, I was so mad that they literally said that so early in the movie. I think it would have been so much better if there would have been no mention of him being Han Solo's son until that moment that Han is on Starkiller Base and goes, Ben!
Yeah, and it's like...
And that's the moment you find out and you know that they're father and son. I don't know. To me, that's just, as a storyteller in a way, like I think that would have been better. I understand why they did it so early, but I think it would have worked better and would have been more of a nice little shocking moment.
And BB-8 is like running away.
I like how Chewie is just a monster.
Yeah, he's just full barbarian right now. She seems so full of hope. I forgot how full of hope Rey looks in the beginning of this film.
And it's kind of funny because it's like every time she does something cool, like people are always like,
okay, cool.
Cool.
Like my life.
and she's always like, what the heck?
She's like, come on, I just saved us. Look, the game. Isn't that like a real game now? Didn't someone actually make that online? I feel like I need to look that up.
I love how, when they go, Finn's with the Resistance, and Han just looks at him, and he knows he's not with the Resistance. You know how he knows? From the boots.
I saw that in the group.
He literally knows from his boots. He was a stormtrooper, and that's how he knows, which I think is funny. But I love the idea. I love this whole talk and spiel by Harrison or Han Solo.
Of how humbled Han Solo has become about the Force.
Yeah, because
Episode 4, he was like,
he's like, I don't believe in any of that.
Yeah, this is all fake.
But
and then through his journeys of 4, 5, and 6, he's like, yeah, this is real.
Yeah,
it's as real as it gets.
Probably would happen with his son, even.
Yeah.
I even like how the Jedi are myth. And you would think that they are even a little bit more of a myth than they were before.
Yeah.
Because we know that Luke started a new Jedi temple, a new school, and what have you. But how many people was it full of? 10 people, 20 people, 100 students? What was it? If it was only 10, 15 students, and then it gets destroyed, it's still going to be a myth in some people's eyes.
Yeah, it was...
Again, like you said, the hopefulness of Rey, and just the curiousness. That's another scene here where you just look at her and she's just like,
she's like,
it's all true. All of that?
The Jedi?
Jedi, Luke Skywalker, you?
Blow her mind with Anakin Skywalker and the prequel trilogy. You're like, yeah, there was thousands, and then they all died.
And this scene has always been a scene that's really confused me, because the way that Han Solo looks at Rey here, when she's like, I've never seen so much green and everything, he looks like
guilty.
Exactly. There's guilt, and that's why prior to everything else that happens in the movie, you're sitting there like, could she be the daughter of Han Solo?
Yeah.
Why would he feel so guilty? Is it maybe was he the one that left her on Jakku, and he knows where she's from? And he was the one that left her there.
He probably had something to do with it.
And then the fact that, he offers her a job on the Millennium Falcon. Again, that's just, I think, is because of his guilt, and he's like, look, you know, I want to do. He's probably thinking, I need to do something.
Yeah, I need to pay
this.
back.
Exactly, and it's so weird to me that, you know, again, we'll probably find out in the Last Jedi, hopefully, but.
I have a feeling that based on what we've heard from the Last Jedi, everything that's going to happen, we're not going to be prepared for. We're going to find out who like everybody is, and we're going to be like, but wait, what?
So much.
Brain can't comprehend.
I really do hope we get some excellent reveals in the Last Jedi.
Because what, we're seeing it at 6?
6 or 7 on Thursday.
I can't remember which one. We might, if there's a midnight release, we might be able to get it.
Well, let's see if it's at 7, because when we did Justice League, we saw that at 7. So if it was at 7, it's a 2.5 hour movie. Yeah, we'll get one probably like a 9:30, 10 o'clock showing if we want to.
Hey. I may have, the first one's just going to blindside me. The second one's going to be like me comprehending everything.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to be watching the film. I'm going to be like, whoa. It's just going to sink in. I'm going to have to watch it like Saturday or Friday, I mean.
Yeah, and then she stops, and you know, after he offers her a job basically, and she's like, "No, I can't." She has to get home. Like, how does she know that this wasn't her meeting? Like, this is who she has been waiting for. Like, how does she know that it wasn't him? I know Rebel Force Radio, which is a great podcast, probably the best Star Wars podcast out there. You know, they
next to ours.
Yeah, they talk about how she never says that she doesn't know who her parents are.
Yeah.
Like, she never says that. We just all assume she doesn't know who her parents are. She could very well know who her parents are.
And we just don't know who her parents are.
Don't, you know? And maybe since she does know who her parents are, that's who she's waiting for.
Yeah. You know, I didn't notice this until... Because I completely forgot about the scene until you were playing on Maz Kanata's castle, that there is a giant statue of her in the middle of it all.
I love how they have some of the pod racing flags up there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
I love that.
I do like how there's, I mean, we haven't made it that far yet, but there is a First Order spy. There's a werewolf.
I always wanted that to be a Bothan. Whenever I first saw it, I was like, is that a Bothan? Because we have yet to ever see a Bothan on screen.
Yeah,
whether
not a
it's
canon
cartoon, whether it's movie, we have yet to see a Bothan.
In the first Star Wars Battlefront 2, you can play as one.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember that. Because the Bothans are very wolf-like.
Yeah, here, hold on, I'll pull it up.
I mean, I've seen sketches and concept of them, but I've never seen. We haven't seen one, canonically or whatever. And then, Maz Kanata's role was vastly cut from this movie. That she was supposed to have a lot more to do. That we even saw in the initial trailers for the movie. We saw there were other scenes with her that never made it. And I always wonder why, because I actually really like her character, and finding out that she is Force sensitive in some way. She has the ability to utilize the Force or something.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get more of that? That's what I always wondered. The one thing I like about them showing Starkiller Base like that is it looks old school. Like, it reminds me of how Hoth looked in Empire Strikes Back. It doesn't look like clean and crisp like the planets did in the prequels. Like, it looks like it's a painting that was put up there, which I really like. The only thing that takes away from the only thing that takes away from the idea of him being like a undercover, operative is this scene here.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's not respecting his grandfather for the evil that he did, but he's respecting his grandfather
for the good,
on the light and the good that he did, and when he redeemed himself. And he's looking at Darth Vader's helmet, but maybe that's his only connection that he can have to his grandfather at this point in time.
Yeah,
so when he's sitting there saying, I have this pull to the light, Snoke can sense it. It's his worry that he's going to be found out about.
Yeah.
But, like, you can really dig into it here and really see that that's a good possibility for what's going on with him.
I like how almost every like planet Rey goes on, she's eating. Notice that now too.
2 planets. She doesn't eat on Starkiller's base, and she doesn't eat at the Resistance base either.
But she's eating here. Or at least trying to eat. It looks like everybody keeps interrupting her. Look at her. She, again, looks super interested.
Well, obviously, I mean, for her, this is the first time that she's ever hearing about the Sith, probably hearing about the Empire. She's probably heard about the Empire, but she didn't live during it.
Yeah.
So, she's hearing about the Sith, the Empire, and, even for him, he's like, look, I know the First Order. I know they're evil. Like, you don't need to tell me.
There is no fighting against this. I already know.
And that's the thing I think that's so great about her character, because what this does is, all these kids and, young people that have, like my son and both my sons have enjoyed Star Wars with me, but this movie connects them more because it's explaining everything to them. Like, look,
Yeah, this is this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's so great about this movie in some way is that you could jump in and start with episode 7 and get a decent understanding of what's going on. And
you'd be like, okay, I know Darth Vader. That's just general knowledge.
If you really think about it, A New Hope did the same thing.
Yeah.
A New Hope, you jump into the middle of a saga in A New Hope essentially, and they talk about the Clone War, they talk about this and that happened in the past, and you have an understanding. That's what Episode 7 had to do. Episode 7 had to do the same thing. So if you're jumping in at Episode 7, you know that there's stuff that happened prior, and if you want to go back and watch it, go for it. If not, you can just continue on, and you'll have an idea.
You need to go back and watch it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
All the TV shows, both Clone Wars, both. I don't think Grievous was done right in either Episode 3 or the Clone Wars. The real one, the canon one.
Tarkovsky,
yeah,
what's his name? Clone Wars. I think he was done the best, but the problem is that isn't canon, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. It's
but
so sad.
Good.
They did Grievous so much justice.
Yeah, but he was decent in the Clone Wars, the actual canon cartoon. I think they did him well. He wasn't great. I feel that he went up against Obi-Wan, I think 1 or 2 times in the Clone Wars, and it kind of made the whole scene in Revenge of the Sith seem weird then. But yeah, it is what it is.
I'm kind of interested to know how long her hair is in order to do that, like to have the 3 ponytail thing.
I mean, even if her hair isn't that long, they can easily just.
Well, I mean, I know extensions and whatnot.
Stuff, yeah.
But still, like, I'm curious to know how long one's hair must be in order to do that.
I don't know. Could probably do it with my hair.
Can we? I don't know how to.
Go to the premiere with my hair in a Ray hairstyle.
Yeah, if we can't do the Ray, you got to get the buns on the side.
No, my hair isn't long enough for that. I know that much.
Oh, look, a little bit of romance.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing. Good thing to bring up because there's a couple times. There's a time on the Millennium Falcon after they got away and they're sitting there talking like blah, 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 blah. Who are you? You felt like a little bit of a connection there. You kind of feel it here as well, but they're not going that route. It looks like. Yeah,
nah. It looks like he's gonna get robes.
Do you think that was kind of the intent of JJ? Do you think JJ and Kasdan were like, yeah, we're gonna make a little romance here and we'll let them play with that later on? And then Ryan Johnson started writing his script. He was like, no, I don't like that. And he went a different direction.
Probably. I mean, because I'm sure he knew he wasn't doing episode 8 or 9.
Who?
J.J. Abrams.
JJ, yeah.
So he was like, okay, I'm going to try to build something here if they want to take it romantic-wise.
I mean, the thing is it works because, I myself, have friends that are girls that, we have a good connection, but there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
Romantically. We're just really good friends, and that happens in life. So I like that idea. Then I think it's going to really build with that.
Oh my God! Look at
BB-8
BB-8 go down the steps. Oh, it's adorable. Look at him. He just like looks over, wheels down, looks over, wheels down. I think BB-8's like innocence is so adorable.
This scene here, I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but they literally they reshot the lightsaber duel on Bespin.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
And they were actually going to have her from a distance seeing that fight go on. Like they literally shot that. Why we didn't get to see it? Like why did you cut things out, JJ?
Why did you not give us a director's cut? Give us a 4-hour movie.
But do you think this is like obviously there's a force back part of it, so there's a moment where she does fall and she's in Bespin, but then there's a moment,
And it's like,
but there's also moments where you see the fire burning at the possibly new Jedi temple that Luke created, or Jedi school. What do you think that is? Do you think some of it is a force back? Like this here is obviously a flashback, a force back of Bespin. That's what this is.
And
but then
false.
You fall to here. Do you think that this is the future? So she went to the past, is now seeing the future, that kind of thing, or is she in the past, and is this the future? Like it's so weird. Like what are you seeing here? Because a lot of people say that moment where Kylo stabs that guy, it looked like Kylo was actually protecting Rey there.
Yeah.
Which then you go back to the past and her seeing, whoever it is leaving her. But then you see a future right here, So you see, like, you gotta try to interpret this in some way. Like, there's some of the past, or some of the future. Like what is it? And then obviously you hear Obi-Wan and you hear Yoda speak, and
and she doesn't know who either of those. I think that she's stronger in the Force than we know of.
Oh yeah.
And that's her brain trying to.
And also,
she's becoming more conscious of it. And that's her brain comprehending
she's
it.
Like that lightsaber is Luke's and was his father, before his, and now it's calling to you.
Yeah.
Like, what is the significance of that connection? What is that connection?
I think it's
to be something there.
Nothing more than a strong connection with the Force.
But see, I can't buy that. Because why is that lightsaber not calling to? Why did it not call to Kylo at some point? Why did it not call? Like, why is this lightsaber all of a sudden just calling to some random person in the Force? Why wouldn't it call to somebody who's strong within the Luke Skywalker heritage, or the Skywalker heritage, or something?
Because when darkness rises, the light rises to equal it, and that's the only way to unlock her potential.
Yeah.
The Force knows it has to equalize itself. She looks really weird without her goggles on. Bothers me.
I think what would have been cool is if she would have actually used the Force there in some way.
Yeah, like whether it be telekinetically talking or not even being there.
Even the lightsaber, like let's say like the lightsaber fell on the ground and she actually picks it up with the Force and tries to hand it to her.
Yeah.
So that way, like Rey at that moment, she's like, "Whoa, I gotta."
Yeah, I want this.
Whoa.
Like, stop. Rey running away from stuff she doesn't even understand. She runs into the woods? ?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird that she just runs out into the woods. Like, why wouldn't she run back to the Falcon or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. Oh, and then Hux. You got Hux just chewing up the scenery right here. I love it. I know people make fun of this. I love it so much.
Again, you could kind of tell where the inspiration for the Stormtrooper, like the Empire, first came from. Don't tell me that this is a part of history. There's no getting around it. It happened. That this isn't a Nazi-esque type scene.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you could tell that this is where Lucas drew the inspiration from the Empire.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's always said that.
Yeah, like it's if you're a Star Wars fan, didn't know that, yeah, it drew from World War II.
I don't know. Like, I know people want to make fun of him for acting like this here and chewing the scenery, but I think it's perfect. Like the emotion, the passion that he has for the First Order. You got to remember that there are people that were out there that really believed in the Empire and believed what the rebellion did, and
and I'm sure there's still people there.
Yeah,
like this isn't that far after Episode 6. Not far enough for everybody that
I mean,
was
30
alive
years.
then would be
30
dead.
years, 30
Yeah.
years after Empire, or not Empire, after Return of the Jedi.
Like, I'm sure there's parents that taught their kids, hey, the Empire was right. And, you know, that line's still going.
Yeah, I mean, Snap Wexley, who is in this movie, who plays a big role in the Aftermath books.
Such a good scene. I like this scene.
Oh, yeah, this is a good scene.
Not the
But again,
Kylo,
but no, again, even look at Kylo there. Like, he's watching that.
and he's just like,
The confliction. Like,
Yeah.
I see more conflict there than I see, like, yeah. I'm telling you, man, that's what it's going to be. He's going to be an undercover agent.
and we're just going to be like, I would, honestly, I wouldn't even, I'm kind of disappointed that they took out the scenes before this.
With her, especially.
Yeah.
'Cause she was, the right hand of General Leia.
And
She's only there because Leia didn't want to go and talk to the Republic because they didn't trust her. So she sent her, like, they'll listen to you before they listen to me. So Leia essentially killed,
yeah, her right-hand man.
right-hand, yeah.
But, like, there was no, if you're going to take out all the scenes that, were important before then, why would you include that scene?
Yeah, I mean, they were just kind of showing the destruction of Hosni and Prime and stuff like that. That way they can, like, hey, so like, okay, that was the Republic. That is where the Republic, the New Republic, they're not in Coruscant, because I think a lot of people thought that they would just go back to Coruscant and
Because everything on Coruscant happened, that all went down well.
So again, I think that was kind of the reason for it. Like, look, this is where the Republic is, and it's gone now.
Yeah.
The
Bye.
Republic is taking a big hit.
Again.
Now it's going to be what am I thinking? A power struggle.
Yeah.
A huge power struggle now between the First Order and the Resistance on regaining control of the galaxy.
Could
Nice
you
little
imagine
Apocalypse Now nod right there?
just the amount of damage, like, economically, politically, socially, how much, like, the Skywalker family has caused to
Why
the
does
galaxy?
Han know what that is exactly? Like, obviously he knows it's a lightsaber, but how does he know what lightsaber it is? Because he saw it in Episode 4, maybe a couple times in Empire before they went their separate ways, but he's not going to really know. Like, is he really going to remember that was Luke Skywalker's lightsaber?
He could. He'd be like, oh, whatever. Hey, Luke was holding that a couple times. That might be Luke's. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be like, that's Luke's.
Luke's had a few. And the one
Yeah.
that I saw him with last was the green one.
Yeah, it could have been like,
Which the green one looks more like Obi-Wan's lightsaber than anything.
yeah. I would be so mad. I'd be like, I don't even have insurance on this. I don't have renter's insurance. I don't have nothing. The shooting face. Stormtroopers still awful at shooting. Even though that guy only shot once.
I mean, you gotta figure they're shooting from a distance. I mean, when we were playing Battlefront earlier, I was doing terrible except for that.
Yeah, when you dome someone in the side of the head with a freaking minigun.
I absolutely love Kylo Ren's theme. I think it's one of the best themes that John Williams has ever come up with. I love it. I think it's so dark and conflicting. Like, you listen to it, it's very conflicting as well. Actually, I love all the music in this movie. I cannot wait to hear the music for The Last Jedi. Like, you have no idea. Like, we're gonna see the movie Thursday. Friday, when I wake up, the first thing I'm doing, if it's not on at midnight, I'm going on Spotify and just downloading
The soundtrack.
Because God. And then Han Solo just shown that he's
He still has it.
completely badass. I mean, he is.
This is the one that really grinded everybody's gears. Finn having a lightsaber and knowing how to use it.
And pressing the wrong button to turn it on.
Yeah, right. It still worked. Whatever.
No, supposedly there's multiple buttons on a lightsaber that can turn it on, so that's why it happened like that. But, this is what people got upset about. Is this the first time he's ever used the bowcaster? They've been friends for 30 years, and he's 40 years, and he's never used a bowcaster before.
Like, oh, Finn must be a Jedi. We'll ignore the years of combat training he has.
You sit there and you think about it. It's like, it's not like the reason why we never saw a non-Jedi, we never saw a non-Jedi use a lightsaber before is because they never had an opportunity to in the previous 6 movies that we've seen.
Yeah, like,
this is the first time that a non-Force user is like able to use a lightsaber, and it's kind of one of those things like, why couldn't a non-Force user use one? Yeah, they're not
Exactly.
going to use it effectively. He gets his butt kicked here.
Yeah.
You know, but he tries. You know, like that's the way I look at it.
I think people like to choose to ignore that. You just need combat training. You don't really need the Force to use a lightsaber.
I mean, the Force helps.
Yes, I mean, it helps. But in reality, all you really do need is, like, combat training. That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, just understand how to use a sword.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit different.
It's basically chivalry. All you have to do is know chivalry.
But I mean, it's different because you know a sword actually has a weight to it, where
Yeah,
that doesn't.
That it's just the hilt and that's it.
Yeah,
It's the Resistance. Now look how slick that X-wing looks.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I do think it's interesting that
I love the how they're close to the water like that, and the water spraying up. I think it's really cool.
I think it's interesting that the Resistance let them decorate like their own X-wings, but yet the Rebellion didn't.
I think it was different times, and they didn't necessarily let them like.
Well, I can't say
the-
decorate. I guess paint would be
I mean,
a better word.
The Poe's X-wing may have something special. You know, maybe there's a special series that is the Black X-wing. You know, who knows? Not necessarily that they got to decorate it themselves.
Ooh, that is like really good shooting too. Not to hit any of them, but take out the two stormtroopers next to him. Like how he just grabs a blaster too. Something he's more comfortable with.
Yeah. And then somehow he knows that that's Poe.
Just Poe wipes out 17 TIE fighters in one go.
That's one hell of a pilot. Woo! Yeah, I don't know how he knows that's Poe, but yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, I'm sure he probably heard. I mean, they've been fighting. I would assume that they were fighting before the movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure he heard, stories of Poe. Well, not necessarily Poe, but a good Resistance pilot.
I like how this is like a horror film for a moment here.
Yeah, it's like, ah! Like how she just, like, literally lays on the trigger, too. She's, like, not even chill about it. Climbs up.
Do you think like you could learn a Force to counteract that? Like an ability to counteract?
I'm sure you probably could. You would. My only counter would think mind control, because that's the only thing you really could do at that point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if they want, I mean, I'm sure you could think of something.
And this is the scene. This is what she did in her. Her test. You know, her audition. They had to do this scene, and this is what won her the part of being Rey, because the emotion that she was able. Not this scene here, actually. It was the torture scene from later, but it's because of being tortured. She won the part. That's kind of weird.
It's kind of hot.
See, like, I think what would have been awesome at this point. Still, we wouldn't if we didn't know that Ben was his son, you know. And at that point, you see him looking at it. Like now we know he's mad that Ben is taking Rey.
Yeah,
That's what he's mad about. But it would have been cool. Like, oh crap, he's mad that Rey's being taken. It's his daughter.
yeah.
That's
Like
what you
we
been thinking the
we
whole
still
time.
don't know.
You know, like just think of that kind of thing. And then you see Finn running. No, you know, Rey, and you know, like he's upset about it. Everything like that. You know, and like to me, like that just would have been better story wise. You know, I hate to keep going back.
Yeah.
But I just think story wise, it would have been better.
It would have flowed better. It would have made a more crushing finale, though. When Han dies, spoiler, when Han dies, that would have been crushing.
Yeah.
Well, more crushing than it was the first time you watch it.
Hey, that's the ship that almost landed on my head while playing Battlefront today.
Yeah. Literally landed like 2 feet from you. Not even 2 feet from you.
If I didn't keep moving, it would have fell on me.
I would have wondered if it would killed you or just pushed you out of the way.
Probably just pushed me out of the way.
Leia. A.K.A. Carrie Fisher.
I tell you what, I was watching Revenge of the Sith the other day, and the scene happens when Bail Organa takes Leia back to his wife, and they're holding her and stuff like that, and it like literally hit me. It was like, so this was what, Sunday I think I was watching it. So Sunday I'm watching the birth of Leia, the start of her journey, and later this week I'm going to see what is essentially the end of Leia's journey.
Yeah.
Because Carrie Fisher is going to be, is gone and unable to continue on. And like it actually hit me. It was like one of those things like
You
grown
grew
up
up.
with this character for the last 25 years, she means, like, whether she knew it or not, she means so much to me because of that. And now knowing that this week I'm gonna see
the definitive end of Leia
with Han Solo. Like, it hit me in a way when they killed Han. Like, I cried, but it was one of those things where I think at that point they were already talking about a Han Solo spinoff and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
so you were like,
we're gonna see more Han, And,
but you can't really do a Leia spinoff.
I mean, you could.
It would have to be a political thriller.
You could do a spinoff of Leia, but I just don't want, like, I've said this so many times, I don't want to see spinoff of our characters. Obi-Wan I do, because I think there's a lot of story that needs finished with him.
Yeah.
But these characters,
like Han doesn't need a spinoff.
Exactly. We don't need anything finished with Han. Luke wouldn't be a bad idea. Like, I would love to see what happened between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
With Luke. And even Leia and Han I could see between 6 and 7, but I don't think they're ever going to do that.
Yeah.
So. And then there's this scene up here where they, Finn and Poe, like, oh, hey, it's you, woohoo! And then people are like, yep, they're gay.
Let's not start this rant again. We already went into it with the Rogue One rant.
It's just...
that one had to be censored.
I get that people want to see, some inclusion of, LGBTQ characters in Star Wars. I get that.
But let's not go off the handle and say everybody.
Exactly. Just because two guys are friends and they hug each other. I've hugged my guy friends before.
Like there's a such thing as loving someone, but not
being in love.
Yes.
Exactly. I just think it was cool. In the fact that,
isn't that her daughter in the background?
Yeah, that's Billy Lord. Yeah,
hey.
And then that's Snap Wexley right next to her. Now he's the character that he's actually a little boy in the Aftermath series. And you kind of,
I need to read those.
I tell you what, they're good books. They really are. The first one's tough, but the second
then
one
after that,
good.
it's
and I really like the story. Han Solo's in it, Leia's in it. Like they
have to go find it on YouTube and listen to it.
But they're worth checking out. Like there's I think the second book. Is all about going and saving Kashyyyk essentially.
That Kashyyyk has always interested me, because like you see it in episode 3, and then like at the end of episode 3, it's completely in shambles, and then you don't see it ever again, other than if you want to take the Force Unleashed. Mm-hmm. But like I want to know, like, did all the Wookiees die?
No, it's very interesting. You need to definitely check out the book. It does explain what happened to the Wookiees and everything. And you can actually start to see the disconnect between Han and Leia as well there. So because at the time she's pregnant, and Han's just like not home. Like he keeps leaving her while she's pregnant. He's leaving his pregnant wife to help Chewie and Kashyyyk. And it's because he made a promise to Chewie that he would do it. And you can tell there's a little disconnect between the two of them. So
I still like the story of how C-3PO got his red arm. Too bad I don't think it's canon, is it?
Yeah,
it's canon. Aw.
What is it that you?
That like the droid saved him from acid rain or some crazy crap like that.
No, that's not it.
There was a droid that saved him from something, and then that was like a part of his body that he made into his arm.
I can't remember what it is, but it was in a comic.
I can't remember. But like.
I can't remember either. But yeah, it was in a comic. But honestly, the real reason why they did it, right?
Why?
Sell more toys.
I mean, that does make sense. I can't argue the thought logic.
If you have a C-3PO that's gold and then they make another one, you're not going to buy another gold C-3PO because
yes.
you have one already.
It's like, red arm.
But
yes.
if you do one with the red arm, then people are going to have to buy it.
He's gonna have to get like his leg blown off in the 8th one and replace it with a blue leg or something. So we can get another C-3PO we have to buy.
That's funny.
That's why I don't really get into like. I just got into collecting pop figures, but like even then, that kind of kills me because.
Do you think Leia, if that is in fact true that he's an undercover operative Kylo, do you think Leia knows?
Well, she would have to. Isn't she the leader of the
She's
Resistance?
the general of the Resistance.
I mean, if he is and she doesn't, that's some really, really co-op stuff.
Even like now, they could have continued. Like they could have even kept this scene in here and talked about bringing our son home and blah blah blah, that kind of stuff, and saying how he's like a. They could have added in like how he's risen up in the ranks of and being a leader of the First Order. And then you could have been confused, like, okay, so Rey isn't his daughter.
Is it Hux?
Like they could have done some things,
And they could have ran you through the loops the entire
Exactly. I
time.
mean, some people probably would have hated it. I would have liked it. Like
I think it would have been interesting.
So this is the scene. She auditioned doing this scene, and this is what actually won her the.
I mean, if you would nail it the way I would have it in my head, I would give you the part if you would nail it.
It was just the emotion. I don't know if I've ever seen the audition.
I don't think I've ever have.
But it's actually J.J. Abrams who's playing the part of Kylo, and she's doing the rest. And like the emotion that she puts out is amazing. Oh, finally! And then this is when the theater laughed. Literally, the one theater I was in, I think it was the 4th time I saw it, or 3rd or 4th time I saw the movie. I was sitting in the theater and people started laughing when he removed his helmet. And I was like,
It's because, like, I mean, he doesn't look all that intimidating.
no, he doesn't.
And that was my, like, because I saw it 3 times by myself and then once with my mom. And my mom was, like, super disappointed that, like, Kylo, like, took off his helmet and looked not intimidating at all.
He's got a big nose, and I will say this: like he does actually look like Harrison Ford a little bit. Like I
could see it.
Similarities in him and Harrison Ford, and I've said this to other people, like, "Oh, you're crazy." No, I see it, I do. But then I also see a little bit of Anakin in him. I do.
It's the hair.
Yeah. Yeah. This scene is powerful, and it's interesting because again, he says he sees an island, he sees the island and stuff like that, and it's just interesting that the fact that has she been to Octu before? Has she?
Yeah.
Been
Then
there? How does she know about it? How does she see it in her head? Has she seen the map before?
yeah,
She saw it on the Falcon, but
that's only a bit of the map.
yeah, exactly. Like to me, like it's weird. I like how she, really turns it around on him. Because what he's doing is leaving him vulnerable. And she's
now picking his brain.
Yeah. Which I think is excellent. I think that's such a great change. Because you can then tell that he's starting to strain as well as her. I tell you what, if it turns out that he is some kind of double agent, double operative, undercover operative or something, I like that idea, but I'll be mad that I know. And,
You're right, you spoiled it for yourself.
I'm like, aw.
The battle of wills.
She looks really young there.
I think Daisy Ridley's secretly
And
younger than we know.
And the moment that she goes that you will never be as strong as Darth Vader. How does he view Darth Vader as being strong? Do you think he views Vader being strong as he was strong enough to come out of the darkness, or is it that
just
he
the
embraced the darkness?
Yeah, or just a strong user of the Force in general.
I don't like how he says Ren fells, like he called him Ren. Why would you call him Ren? He is a knight of Ren. His name is Kylo Ren. Being a knight of Ren, his name is Kylo, not Ren.
Yeah,
that agitates me.
That's a writing flub there. Then we will crush them once and for all. Prepare the weapon. He looks kind of like, if we're going to use the route that he's a double agent, he does look in this scene kind of desperate to, stay under Snoke.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing about it, is he is desperate to not blow his cover.
Yeah, he's like, teach me, please.
Yeah.
Don't think that I'm trying to be a good guy.
And then you got Daniel Craig, 007, as a stormtrooper here.
What?
Yeah, Daniel Craig, who plays 007, is the stormtrooper.
That's crazy.
You didn't know that?
No.
Because Pinewood Studios, which is where they shot The Force Awakens, they were shooting not Skyfall. Maybe it was Skyfall. I don't know. It was one of the last two Bonds. They were shooting on the same lot, just at another,
Yeah.
in another location on the lot. And Daniel Craig was like, "I'd love to be in a Star Wars movie," and JJ was like, "All right, come on over, you'll be a stormtrooper."
Yeah.
So
Hey, just take a brisk walk.
Yeah, and you can actually tell, like, when because we don't have the volume on, but you can actually tell it's Daniel Craig's voice. So.
It's been a long time since I've seen episode 7. I bought it on like the 2-disc Blu-ray DVD.
Blu-ray.
I think I watched it once since I've had it, and then that's it.
You need to bring that over.
What the?
Aren't there special? No, it's the 3D version.
Yeah.
3D version has the commentary and everything, and that's one thing I've done with every Star Wars movie is I've watched it with the commentary, and this is the only one I haven't gotten to do it with because it was on a 3D version. I hate 3D movies. So.
Here we go. Here's some comedy here. He's just destroying the room, and you see the 2 stormtroopers. They're like, "Yep, nope, not dealing with that."
Yeah, we're just about that.
Bye. I think this is an interesting concept of the weapon, that it absorbs the sun.
Star Killer. I wish they wouldn't say sun in this movie also, because the sun is specifically the name of our star in our galaxy.
Well, you know.
No,
I know. It's technically a star.
Yeah, it's a star, and it's called Star Killer because it kills the star. It takes the star.
But I still think that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, you don't have to use the kyber crystal then. Although some people are saying that this planet is actually home of kyber crystals, which kyber crystals do actually help power it, which I think is an interesting theory. I don't know if it's a theory, or if it was maybe even confirmed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that's what I've heard.
Oh, look at the size difference.
I like how Han's like, all right, it's big.
Yeah, and then we got another calamari.
See, uses the power of the sun. Do people know what the sun is?
Yeah, sun. Are we crossing the 4th line here? Are we breaking a 4th line here?
Fourth wall.
4th wall? Whatever. I like how it seems like everybody seems innocent. Like Leia even has somewhat of an innocent look to her.
Yeah. Again, this is reminiscent of
Episode 4.
Episode 4. As they're sitting there prepping for destroying the Death Star. The thing I like about this is it's a little more like a ragtag. Like this is
everybody that
Like, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do this. Well, how? Well, we're going to have to try and do it this way. Whereas in like A New Hope, they're kind of more built up and a little more organized than here, which I like.
Here they're finishing putting together their ships.
Yeah, essentially is what they're doing right now. All the pilots that we see here, only like 8 go.
Yeah, right.
Star Killer. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but they literally showed we see probably a good 50 to 100 pilots.
Yeah, we see a good battalion of pilots, but 3 of them are like, yeah, we'll go. We got this. $20 says the rest are bordering the planet, ready for a counterattack or something like that.
Kind of wish they would have gotten more screen time together.
Right, considering that
But this was the moment I knew that it was going to be coming, that he was going to be dying. It's just
The nice little they're saying goodbye,
yeah,
reminiscing of each other.
I mean, that's what happens. Like that's story writing 101. You know,
Yeah.
always, the characters that mean the most to each other, you will have a goodbye prior to killing somebody off. You know, that's kind of what you do. I don't always agree with that because sometimes I think a shocking death is a little more impactful than one that prepares you. But I know, like somebody like my mom, she was watching the movie, and you know, after we saw it in the theater, I walk out and I'm like, "Hey, did you see it coming?" She's like, "I didn't see it coming at all." And I'm like, "Really?" Like,
I mean, I saw it coming, but it didn't really lighten the blow from it.
no, it doesn't like, blow at all.
Like, it still hurts and sucks.
I just realized she's a lefty shooting guns like me,
You know, I'm lefty, but I shoot righty. I don't understand it.
and I'm ready and shoot lefty. It's weird.
Like,
I don't know.
you also use inverted controls.
And actually, I could actually shoot righty as well. I've been kind of teaching myself to be ambidextrous in that regard, you know, with airsoft and everything.
I mean, I could shoot both, but I prefer to shoot righty.
I prefer to shoot left, so it is what it is.
We can clear buildings together and be flawless.
Yes, just one stay on one side, one stay on the other.
You have to be like, shh, you stay there, I'll stay here. I'd like to know that, like, none of that broke any of the windows. I mean, granted, I know you go through hyperspace and whatnot, so that glass isn't typical glass, but you literally just made the jump out of hyperspace and ran through a ton of trees.
Yeah, the gun that's on the bottom of that is probably destroyed. How did they get out of the ship also?
Valid thought.
No, I'm pretty sure they took off and actually landed, but yeah. I love how he's like, Han Solo.
Because even then, you still don't know that he's his son, if you were to keep
If you did it the way I said, yeah.
Yeah, Han Solo? What?
And then, you know, there's that scene that happens after he does that was cut, where he literally goes to the Millennium Falcon and he steps on the Millennium. He's in the cockpit. Like,
Yeah.
why cut that? Like, I just want to see it. I love this.
I think it's did you see the one company that's doing the exclusive Star Wars jackets from episode 5?
Columbia?
I think it's Columbia, where they have like,
But they're like $150 each.
I would buy a Han jacket for $150. Too bad I'm broke. I would though. I really liked his jacket from episode 5.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that everything from here to about the end of the film takes 15 minutes, like in movie time.
Yeah.
Phasma's
There's
third
her
time
third
on
scene.
screen.
You're not wrong, too. She literally has 3 scenes.
Like, it's sad. Like, I really thought she would have.
4. She had one other scene with Kylo. So it's 4 scenes.
Oh yeah, 5 if you want to count the whole Nazi firing off at the Republic thing.
Yeah.
I don't really count that though, because
She
that
just
was
sees
Hux.
her.
Yeah, Hux was in that. That was Hux scene. That was
So
no
now
one
she's
else's.
shooting righty. What the heck?
Hey,
I wish I knew what was going through her head there on how to escape. Like, was her plan to get the TIE fighter to escape in the TIE fighter? Like, that'd be interesting.
she has some upper body strength. Let me tell you, I would not be able to
Well,
hang there that
she'd
long.
been scavenging on Jakku for how long, climbing Star Destroyer, so...
I wouldn't be able to do this. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
fall.
I'd die.
Like that. Granted, that is someone that knows their way in and out of that.
Again, it's probably similar to what she saw
Yeah.
in the Star Destroyers and stuff. And then a nice little callback to episode 4. Curious in how she got out of there.
I'm sure she probably knew a way. I think it's funny that even the sanitation troopers have to wear full armor.
The way I always looked at it was that you go to Starkiller Base as you're training. You do things around the base, like you have sanitation, you have cooks and so on.
Yeah,
and so
you
forth.
do all the bitch
But
jobs.
eventually, once you become promoted into being a stormtrooper, then you are a stormtrooper, and you don't do that other stuff. Is the way I look at it. But yeah, again, a lot of people are upset that we didn't get a true space battle. This battle is still, I think, pretty cool. They're
I would take.
severely outnumbered, but I still think it's pretty cool.
I would take this as a space battle. I mean, you don't.
A space battle? It's not a space battle because it doesn't take place in space.
It doesn't matter. There's X-wings. Oh, his antenna's bent again.
Ray's not there to fix it.
I didn't notice that until actually this watching. I do like how it's kind of like you can tell it's half planet, half machine, like on that wall there. Like
Well, yeah, because it was built into the
yeah, like it's not like they all have like the interior's all metal and then the outside still has the planet.
Oh, he says hell.
Oh, he
First time
says
that we hear a bad word in a Star Wars movie, I think. Again, that's another duo that I would have liked to have seen more with because I think they had a good chemistry and they were funny together. Han and Finn.
Yeah. See, they just give us a 5-hour Star Wars movie. Just develop everything. Just give me it all. But you have to give me a 2.5 hours. You have to give me an intermission because there's no way I can sit there for 5 hours. You got to give me a 20-minute intermission to use the bathroom and re-up on a drink or something. Even the DVD release be like, pause now and give me like 15 seconds to pause the film.
I like how the scene where he hands his coat back.
He's looking out for him. He doesn't want his friend sick. Oh, one of the 3 pilots are down.
No, there's a good bit of X-wing pilots there, but it doesn't seem like it. Like at one point you see probably like 12 or 15 X-wings, but then most of the time you only see like actual pilots in their X-wings. Here I think you see like 4 or 5. Like you don't see that many of them.
It has to be super cold for Rey.
Yeah, she's cool.
She has like nothing on.
There's actually again a deleted scene where you see Finn give Rey the coat, and Rey's wearing his coat at one point. There's actually it would be right now where the scene is cut because they're doing this, and as this is happening, Rey and Finn are being chased by stormtroopers in a speeder chase, like a speeder or something. See, there's the speeder, and there she is in the coat. See?
Such a continuity error. Again, Rey's knowledge of from scavenging saves the day. And then here it comes.
You got a little bit of time.
No, but this was kind of the moment where I was like, oh god. It's coming.
Why give him the detonator?
Exactly. I think Han had no intentions of coming back. He came for more than just to destroy whatever. I can't remember what they're destroying.
Starkiller Base.
No, I meant like the specific thing. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. I think that he had more of an intention than just this. He knew he wasn't coming back. It's weird that the stormtroopers knew he was coming.
Question: Why is Kylo going there? Does he feel Han's presence, and that's why he goes?
That would be my guess.
And why are there no railings? Like, there's railings there, but that big long bridge there's no railings.
Let's see
What is with Star Wars and no railings?
the safety guy hasn't come to do his safety protocol checks yet,
Oh, okay, all right,
and they are technically still in code,
okay,
so they're not doing it
okay.
yet. He really doesn't look menacing, like without his robe on. He looks like he's wearing a skirt.
I don't know. I think he looks cooler in this than he does in the Last Jedi costume that he has. I think this costume's better.
He just looks like he has a skirt on here. If he puts his robe on, he looks fine. I think he's intimidating.
Can be.
Yeah. Just trying to think of a censored way to say that.
Oh, the little red lights are there like, hey.
Hey, don't fall.
Again, like, this is one of those things, like, you sit there and you're like, oh, crap. You know, so... You know, it would have even been cool if you would have thought for a moment that Ben was Luke's son until, you know, he goes, what do you think you'll see? And he's like, the face of my son. And you'd be like, oh, crap.
You'd be like,
know?
no way. I thought it was Hux. See, even that light. The light.
Just good lighting. Some people think it's a little on the nose with the lighting in this scene. I think it's perfect. I'm a big fan of the use of lighting in movies and to show the emotion of what's going on and everything. Yeah. Question is his helmet really that heavy whenever he drops? You realize when he drops it, it's like thud. Yeah, sorry, we got real quiet here. This is an intense scene.
Yeah, this is the Han scene, sorry.
Yeah, you know, he sits there and talks about how, you know, Snoke is using him for his power. Again, I think that goes into play where it's about him. Snoke is trying to rejuvenate himself in some way, and I think that's true. I think that, you know, Kylo's his muscle until he's back to 100%.
And then Kylo's gone.
Exactly. And then the confliction, being torn apart. You can see the one side of his face red, the other side is, you know, light. It's blue on the other side of him, essentially. Such a great scene.
I don't think his helmet's that heavy. There's no way one person can carry that on their neck.
It would suck. Why didn't you just pull it away? And it's at this moment that he turns completely red because he's turned to the dark side completely, supposedly. And Han realizes it at that moment.
And that was the moment where every grown man cried.
Wow. Just a little touch on his face. I love that part here. He just touches his face so gently.
Still don't think he should have fell into the shaft.
Yeah, you have to kind of finalize it.
Well, they tried that with Darth Maul.
It's a little different because this planet then blows up. And then Leia feels it. You have to think that Luke felt it as well.
Luke would have had to. If he didn't feel the direct death, he would have had to have felt Leia.
And Chewie, like, just think about that. Chewie just watched his best friend get killed by his son. And not only that, but you know Chewie probably played and helped raise Ben.
Exactly.
How conflicted is Chewie at this point? You know, people always say, oh, you know, why did Chewie all of a sudden miss whenever he shot him? I think it was more like he was like, I gotta shoot him, but I don't want to kill him.
Yeah,
I want to kill him, but
I want to kill him, but I can't.
Exactly, you know.
I think you could still such a good scene. See, this is why I disagree with all the crap J.J. Abrams got for this film. Like, oh, it's just a rehash of Episode 4. No, it's really not.
I mean, this is so much more powerful than anything that we got in A New Hope. You know,
This is more powerful than anything we got in 90% of Star Wars we had up until this point.
I really wish we could have seen the scene that was in the trailer where we see him, like, you know, come off of the snowbank and he kind of stumbles a little bit and lights up his lightsaber.
Yeah, I forget what I was watching. It realistically has like 15 trees in it. All the rest is CGI. And this is just a super dark room.
This originally actually wasn't filmed this way. It was, I think Spielberg is the one that gave JJ the idea of doing it with it snowing in the snow and everything.
I feel like that's a little exaggerated of a force push.
Yeah, you know, it's alright.
Kylo's like, let's go.
Traitor. And when he yells traitor, it sounds just like Anakin when Anakin yells liar. Why does it belong to you, Kylo? And how does he know? Like, how do people know what lightsaber is which? I'm sorry. There's no way that Kylo has ever seen a lightsaber before.
I'm sure he's probably heard about that lightsaber, though. I'm sure Snoke didn't hide anything from him.
Yeah, but why would Snoke even know about the lightsaber? Like, you would think that it's gone, destroyed, gone forever because it fell off in Bespin, fell down Bespin.
This is a good scene. This is a nicely lighted scene.
Yeah, I love how they were able to come up with a new technology for lightsabers and how the light actually reflects off of them, off of the actors now. Because in the older movies, they didn't.
Yeah.
I love how they do now.
This scene. This part right here. Not, Finn getting destroyed, but this right here.
And the moment the Force theme just bursts into everything.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's definitely not the Force theme that you're doing there. But
I know.
and I just love how she's like confused. She's like, it came to me.
She's like, lightsaber?
And then you see she uses a different button to turn it on. No, she uses the button that Finn used earlier. She's just holding it a different way now. Weird continuity errors. But
it's weird how, like, watching it for, like, not watching it to enjoy it like you do in theaters, but, like, when you have it on DVD, that you watch it sometimes just to see the different continuity flaws of it.
Yeah, it's alright.
I think how she's not aggressive whatsoever in her fighting style either.
No, that's what a lot of people like. Oh, how is she able to beat Kylo? Like, she's getting owned by Kylo right now.
Yeah,
she's
like
defending. She's on her heels.
Yeah, she's not doing any attacking at all.
Just like Finn. Finn didn't put up much of a fight either. Like, he was getting his butt kicked. And
yeah, he was angry. That's why he attacked first.
Like, there's no, like, in no way does she overpower him because she's so much more powerful than he is. There's a moment that comes up whenever she feels
the trench run.
The Force. What's that?
The trench run.
Yeah.
Which I feel like if you're Death Star, Starkiller Base, whatever, you're going to have to do a trench run to get where you need to go.
I mean, Return of the Jedi kind of had a trench run.
Yeah, like you have to. There's no.
But then again, the Return of the Jedi, the ending of that was originally what Lucas envisioned for the end of A New Hope. So.
True. But like, if you're going to take on a planet-sized fighting thing, that was so accurately described. You're gonna have to do some sort of train. You're gonna have to get inside of it, or you're gonna have to get as close as you humanly.
blowy-uppy thing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get into it, or you're gonna have to get as close as you can to it. There's no. We're just gonna shoot it from about over here, and it's gonna get destroyed. We can't. You can't do that. Big old explosion.
Yeah, big old explosion, all right. But again, you see Kylo is completely on the offensive here.
Yeah, and Rey's just defending.
She's like, run away! Run away! Doing crazy somersaults and stuff.
For the record, though, Finn did get a hit on him.
True.
Did get one good hit on him.
And now she tries to go on the offensive, and it doesn't work. And then she tries it again.
She just does the stabby thingy that Palpatine does. Which is basically the only
reason why people thought that she was a Palpatine.
Yeah.
But you can also tell that he isn't trying to kill her exactly. You know, like, he doesn't ever go for a killing blow against her. And, like, even at this point here, you know, he's sitting there like, you know, you need a teacher. I can teach you. I can be the one to train you. I'll show you and teach you the ways of the Force. And that's when she remembers. She's like, the Force. I know kind of about the Force. I use it a little bit.
She's like, I know of it. I don't know what I'm doing.
She closes her eyes and starts focusing on the Force, and she allows the Force to take over her. Which makes me believe that she had some kind of training as a kid. You know, but she allows the Force to take over her, which is why she's able to overpower Kylo at this point. It's not because she's vastly superior than he is. No.
She's just Force enhanced.
No, she just allows the Force to guide her at this point. She understands that, you know, she has to. You also have to remember that Kylo Ren is injured, like severely injured by that bowcaster.
And, you know, the multiple blows he's taken. The fact that he's still standing is quite amazing. Okay. We'll ignore that he just got kicked over. But, like, think about it. He got a bowcaster hit and about 3 or 4 lightsaber hits.
Yeah. And not only that, but he's dealing with the pain of just losing his father.
Yeah. Like, I will...
I literally thought the first time I saw this movie that she killed him there. I was like, what? You killed... What? And then he started moving. I was like, oh, okay. But I really did think that they killed him in that movie because I was like, damn, he just cut his head off. Like, that's what I thought happened.
That would have been kind of cool. I wouldn't know what they would do with Episode 8, but that'd been kind of cool.
Yeah.
Episode 8 would have been like Snoke finds another... It would have been like Luke's long-lost, close pupil, best student. Or you can just open it up for the Knights of Ren.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, who do you think? Do you think the Knights of Ren are the Praetorian Guards?
I don't think they are. I don't really know what the Knights of Ren are. I'm curious to find out what they are.
So
Or who they are, I guess, technically.
who and what they are.
Yeah. I mean, that it's just...
Do they all have the ability to use the Force, or is Kylo the only one?
Yeah, like, there's so much of a gray area. Yeah, putting him on his back where he just got slit is going to feel
Actually,
peachy.
Probably not a bad idea, you know, getting it on ice. No.
Are you proud of that pun?
No.
Good.
And you got Chewbacca.
Look, Falcon's missing a headlight. They're going to get pulled over later for that.
You proud of that pun?
No.
Good.
I'm not proud of a lot of things, okay? 90% of the stuff that comes out of my mouth I'm not proud of. Sorry, I coughed right into the mic that time. I do think it's pretty how the planet's destroying.
My brother made a really good point the one time how, you know, when the planet destroys, how it implodes and becomes a star.
Yeah.
You know?
And here it is, imploding, and then it explodes. It collapses in on itself. Just... There's like 7 X-Wings that survived that assault.
7 out of 13. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, that's a little over 500. That's not exactly a good ratio. But the fact that you took on an entire base with 13 X-Wings and 1 is something. You got really good pilots.
Yeah.
Look how lost she looks.
And Chewie just walks right past Leia.
I think
the biggest issue that I have with this movie is that right there.
I wouldn't have an issue with it. I think Chewie's just really emotionally distraught.
Why is she hugging Rey? She's never met Rey. In our eyes, she's never met Rey. Rey doesn't know who she is. You know, maybe she feels a connection to her through the Force, but like no, the hug should have been Chewie, and then she should have walked up. Like Rey should have walked up to her as she's hugging Chewie, and then they should have had their moment. That would have been the right way to go.
Oh, look at Chewie. All distraught. R2 deciding to come out of his coma.
A lot of people are like, oh, it's because Rey showed up. Maybe. Probably not. I'm going to say no. Or is R2 the embodiment of the Force?
I would believe that over Rey showing up.
Man, it's funny. I think it was somebody I work with. He was like, what did you think of this theory that R2-D2 is actually the Force? Well, what?
I would say C-3PO would be the Force, considering Anakin made him. If I were to believe that theory, I'd believe C-3PO over R2. Just based on the fact that Anakin made C-3PO. Which even then is sort of a stretch, and I'm not really a fan of that either. Uh-oh. Here we go. We get the dun-dun-dun, the map.
On the map.
Yeah. And then Rey becomes Dora the Explorer. Instead of boots, she has BB-8.
Chewie's boots.
Yes. Completely canon. That's what happens in between 7 and 8. Just like one giant Dora the Explorer season. Oh my god, that's what happens. The Forces of Destiny.
Kylo is Swiper.
Kylo knows swiping. Kylo knows swiping. Oh man! Just jumps off of the Force, just Force jumps away from the scene.
Actually, if we go off of what some people think, Kylo would be Diego.
Oh, yeah.
The cousin of Dora.
He goes on his own misadventures, looking for, like, I don't know. What would he even look for?
I don't know. The lost artifacts of Vader.
Yeah, there you go. Vader's lightsaber was seen over on Mustafar.
I hope we see Mustafar in this.
I would love to see Mustafar.
That would be so awesome.
It would be a nice twist
if Kylo took over Vader's castle. Like, how cool would that be?
Or if that's where Snoke is.
Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome. I feel like Mustafar has a long history because of that battle.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, you know, that was where Vader, you know, was living, you know,
and was made Vader.
It made Vader. What made him more machine than man? Oh, look, he's got a a gold arm again.
That's what I'm saying. Episode 8, he's gonna have a blue leg. Something's gonna happen. Diego, aka Kylo, is gonna swipe his leg. He's gonna come to kidnap him, and he's gonna like fight back, and he's gonna get his leg like chopped off or something. That's how we're gonna get the blue leg C-3PO figure. Mark my words. Mark my words. If we're not getting it for episode 8, we're gonna get it for episode 9.
So as we finally arrive on Octu,
which is a very, very blue planet.
Very water-based planet.
It surprises me though that we didn't see like any of the Porgs or Guardians or anything like that.
Yeah, well,
I figured we'd see like, I mean, she's walking up to him. I figured there would be like 1 or 2 of them.
And possibly the best theme in this entire movie is the Jedi steps. This theme here that plays as she walks up the steps is just, so fantastic.
See, I'd be like, this is too much for me, man. I can't walk all these steps. I'd start yelling, Luke, you want your lightsaber or not?
Hey, come on down here. It's easier for you to walk down steps.
I don't care if you're old. You got that seat that hooks onto the railing and just goes down all these. You have that up there. Ride it down to me, please.
If only, that would be hilarious.
That's if I would make a Star Wars film. It'd be just one giant comedy reel. No, it'd be one serious film, and then like I'd have to release a director's cut that's a complete comedy movie. Could you imagine though, just seeing that for the first time in your life, just like?
I mean, you can go see that in real life. That's Skellig Island. I mean, you can. Go
Yeah,
there.
but
all that is real.
You know what I mean. Actually, you know what? Let's go to it. Take a picture right here where I'm handing you like a hoagie or something. You turn around in a robe. Yeah, you turn around in a robe, and I'm just like.
And finally, we see Luke Skywalker.
Got some gray on him.
Why did they send Rey? Like, again, I say this all the time. Like, why would Leia not go find her brother? You know, like
A continuity error.
Like, honestly, it's like...
This was probably the fact that J.J. Abrams had no clue what they were doing for Episode 8, so I'm setting you up like this.
Yeah.
However you want to do it, go ahead.
And the first word spoken in Episode 8 is "we're," and it's not going to be spoken by Daisy Ridley or Mark Hamill. And while, yes, the movie does pick up the same time of this, right after this happens, it's not going to start
Here.
I think it's going to start in space with the First Order of the Resistance. That's the first word, and then we're going to pick up.
Yeah.
Here.
And while everything's happening, we're going to see.
Yeah.
And here's the credits, everybody. Welcome. We're not written in these for commentary, sadly.
No, unfortunately not.
I mean, if we were, that'd be awesome.
But one last thing, that final scene, the helicopter scene where they, it's kind of circling them. I hate that scene. I hate that shot. I'm sorry, it does not feel Star Wars at all.
No, that doesn't.
It
should have just ended with Luke turning around and that's it.
Yeah, that just hurt a little bit, but it is what it is. They ended it on as Mark Hamill likes to say, a literal cliffhanger. So
didn't.
But yeah, so that's The Force Awakens. I know you've all seen it before. You've probably all heard everything I've talked about before. But yeah, we were just having some fun talking about some things.
Yeah, we were BSing. Nice to come back from the grave and BS over some pizza.
Yeah, good times, and
we really didn't talk about too much news. We just kind of talked the movie.
We just kind of talked about movie and stuff like that.
Oh well, maybe.
Honestly, I don't want to talk too much about the news anymore when it comes to the Last
Yeah,
Jedi.
because it's all spoilers at this point.
At this point, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody.
It's review and spoiler.
So,
Bay's name, Daisy Ridley.
As I've said, just stay away from spoilers. Do not get spoiled. Honestly, Tuesday morning is when the first official reviews are dropped.
Yeah, that's when the embargo is lifted.
Just stay away from social media. Like, I'm pretty much staying away from Twitter from now until after I see the movie.
Honestly, I'm probably going to stay off Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Obviously, you guys aren't going to hear this until Wednesday, but stay away from spoilers.
We'll post it somewhere. Stay away, please.
Yeah. Now, we will be doing a full spoiler review of the movie
next week.
Next
Monday.
We'll be recording it next Monday.
Yeah.
Releasing it later that week. We will do that. We will also be doing a probably Facebook Live or even a Twitter Periscope live stream of us freaking out after we initially see, so you can get our initial reactions. We will keep that to no spoilers there.
Kind of like what we did for Justice League.
Yeah, but we will have a spoiler-filled review of The Last Jedi
next week.
Definitely, for sure. So
faux shizzle.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on Facebook, on iTunes, on Twitter, anywhere that you can find us. Do that kind of thing. And do you want to talk about the giveaway real quick here, because we're extending it 1 week because we were all sick?
Yeah, we were giving away a Leia on a Speeder GameStop exclusive Pop Funko figure. All you have to do is subscribe to us on YouTube, join the group on Facebook, like the page on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter.
Any one of those things. Yeah.
Rate a review on rate us on it. iTunes. Rate a review.
We
whatever.
have to do one of those things, and then we do ask that you tell us that you did that. So
Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of.
Join our Facebook group. Join our Facebook group and say, "Hey, we heard your podcast, and we're joining to win that that Leia pop figure." If you join us on or follow us on Twitter, just tweet at us and say, "Hey, we want to win that Leia pop figure." And make sure you follow us on all of that. That way we know who's doing it. We can throw your name in the hat, and hopefully you win.
Yeah, the quicker we know is the quicker we do the drawing.
Yeah, essentially. So with that said, I have nothing else to go. This was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. Look forward to more commentaries.
Yeah.
Maybe 2018. Maybe we'll do more. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean we got
a lineup.
6 other films we can do.
Yeah, we got a huge lineup for next year. We got tons of projects we gotta be doing next year.
Yeah, we're gonna. I know Star Wars talk is probably going to shift from a weekly to maybe a bi-weekly.
Yeah,
after the Last Jedi.
because there's not going to be anything happening.
Yeah, I mean the build up to Han Solo is going to happen, but we'll as the last couple months up to that, we'll probably jump on a weekly basis.
Like we did for this.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind. We do have TRC, which is our weekly show that you'll be able to listen to, but we've got some other ideas going on in our heads right now.
Yeah.
That we're hoping to do.
Well, we'll be hitting you up with some smooth jazz here soon. Maybe we'll release a mixtape.
Maybe.
But with all that said, it's been real. It's been me, Colton. With me, as always, the wonderful, illustrious
Hello there.
Robert.
And this has been Star Wars Talk. May the Force be with you.
Don't be afraid.
Away with your weapon. I mean you no harm.
Kill him. Kill him now.
Do it.
You failed your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Hey everyone, Robert here from the Remote Control. Did you enjoy that episode of Star Wars Talk? If so, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets. That way you can stay up to date with what's new, what's fresh, and what's coming out with the Remote Control and Star Wars Talk. Remember, share this with your friends. The more people that like us and the more people that follow us and listen to us just means more content for you. So, once again, make sure you subscribe, like, listen, follow, all of that stuff, and we'll talk to you later.